Good evening. It is March 22nd, 2022. I'm Bill and you're doing things with Bill. This evening we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to talk about the technology that I'm bringing into the studio to start making better videos. So currently I've been shooting my vlog on my Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra in selfie mode, giving me 1080 at 30 frames per second. For the most part, it's worked great. The audio from a cell phone is not really that good. So I have been using a Shure MV88 Plus, which plugs in via the USB-C port on the phone, and it gives great audio, which is what you're hearing right now. But the video does leave a little bit to be desired, especially when heading out in the field. Now, I used to be a photographer, and I used to actually get paid to take photos. Surprisingly enough, I made some money, but it has been years. I used to shoot on a Canon system, and now that I've made the transition to video, or transitioning a little to video, I still want to shoot photos and videos together, so I did not go with a specifically just video camera. What I've upgraded to is the Panasonic Lumix S5. It is a mirrorless camera, so no SLR, which makes it a bit lighter, it's a bit smaller. Now I do have big hands, but it does fit in my hand. It will hold great as a regular camera. But it's got some features that I need that I'm not getting from my cell phone or I would get from a Canon consumer system. So what I do get with this is many buttons, lots of buttons. So if I want to change my white balance, I can push a button, turn a dial. Change my exposure, push a button, turn a dial. It does make it quicker for finding what I want to change. But when shooting video, it does have a nice display on the back. It also has a selfie mode where I can pull this frame out and look at myself while videotaping, which is great because I can do it in 4K. Now, where this separates or separate from what I would get from the Canon is that I can do 4K at 30 frames per second. I think it's like 2 hours and 43 minutes. And the only reason it's that long is that that's how long it is before it has to start up another file, which is great because the Canons have a 30-minute limit. That's due to a taxation, a law that's out of Europe, not a technical limitation. So for what I need, this is going to be great. This is going to do exactly what I need it to do. And it's going to shoot great video in 4K. So my vlogs will be changing to a 4K format, which means I need to handle some audio. Now, the camera does come with a stereo microphone built in. However, with the stereo microphone, when I show you the comparisons between the audios, you will hear that it's a little tingy, especially in my studio, which doesn't have a lot of sound buffering yet. But out on the field, it's going to also not pick up exactly what I'm going to need to hear, which is why I will be using a Zoom H1N stereo recorder. This little device here records in stereo. It can plug directly into the camera, so I can feed the audio from here directly into the camera line, but it also stores its memory, or it stores its audio in memory on an SD card, or micro SD card. Meaning that I will get recording if for some reason, or I'll get audio if for some reason audio does not transfer properly to the camera. This also has a line N, so this works great for a lavalier mic as well, which you may see me wearing in future videos. This will be in my pocket, because it's nice and pocket-sized, when it's not attached to the camera, and run to a lavalier mic on my collar. However, this evening I'm going to go ahead and set up the camera. I'm going to set this up separate so you will not have this overwriting the audio from the camera, so you can actually hear what that sounds like. But let me get this all set up. We'll do some split screening, and you all can get some comparisons of how the video and the camera works. So give me a few moments. I'll be back in a second. On the left side, I have the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra running in selfie mode at 1080p. And over here on the right side, I have the Panasonic Lumix S5 running in 4K. Now, I will be presenting this in 1080p, so that it's sort of a comparison at the same resolution. You may be asking yourself, Bill, why do you need more than 30 minutes worth of recording time? Well, when I'm doing these vlogs, I leave my camera rolling and rolling and rolling. So I get up, I get down, I move around, and then I go back and edit it into the nice little short video that you all are presented. And there are usually a lot of mistakes that are cut out. Now, if you would go back and watch last week's video, which I know many of you did not do yet, the one that I said you may not want to watch, well, you probably want to watch it because it's got basically a blooper reel. So I'll put a link up top here to that video. I recommend you go watch it. It's a few moments of just laughter. It's stupid, me being stupid, but it's fun watching. But it explains why I need more than 30 minutes of video time for recording. It just needs to run. It needs to be able to run so that I can actually piece together a video that makes sense. Let's take a listen to the audio. What I'm running through right now is the Shure MV88 Plus microphone. It has great audio, and as you can tell, it sounds decent, even in a room that's got a little bit of a ting sound to it. Now you're listening to the audio through the Panasonic S5, and you can hear there's a little bit of a twing or the ting in my office. It's because it's bouncing around and coming through the microphones located on top of the camera. You can hear the reverb. And now you're listening to the audio coming from the Zoom H1N, which is the stereo microphone, which is currently sitting on top of the camera and pointing directly at me. So it is getting stereo, but me being located in the center should be fairly centered to your audio channels. As you can hear, there are different sound qualities that come from these microphones. Although I will be using the Lumix S5 camera, the audio will be from a different source, whether it's the H1N or an H1N with a lavalier microphone or possibly another microphone. If you happen to have any suggestions on microphones that you've used in the past for video recording, please put them down in the comments because I would like to get some suggestions. Also, if you've got some favorite techniques that you use when shooting video, feel free to share them with me. Put them down in the comments. I enjoy learning. So thank you for joining me this evening as we've gone over some of the new technologies that's being introduced into the studio. This should be the last video presented in 1080. Next week's video will be in 4K, which means you get to look deeper into my pores. So, you all have a wonderful evening. I am Bill, and you've been doing things with Bill.